Hey guys, how's it going? Thrills on Wheels. Today we're going to be looking at the Bush Company rooftop tent. So I want to run through with you guys what I love about it, what I hate about it, and maybe that's going to help you decide whether or not you're going to bite the bullet and fork out the big bucks for something that's kind of over the top like this, or if you're better off kind of getting something more budget friendly and saving your money. I'm not affiliated or sponsored by Bush Company, so I'm going to give you my unbiased and honest opinion. There's some good, there's some bad, so stay tuned and yeah, I'll let you know what I think. This one's the Bush Company Alpha, which is the original version. Now it's been superseded by the AX27 because I think there was some like copyright issues with the name Alpha or something like that. So they've made a few changes since they've made this one, but they're more or less the same. I got this about a year ago, bought it second hand off a fella. Saved me a bit of money. I think brand new, they're almost 6 grand. I got this for 4.8K. And it came with a fan, a thicker mattress, and he even had like a hoist in his garage to lift it up and drop it onto my car for me. So I saved a bit of money that way, but it's still very expensive and there are more budget friendly options out there. And I think the development's come pretty far with rooftop tents. So even like your cheaper brands are pretty decent nowadays, I think. Being the older model, this one is the Alpha, so it has the east-west rails underneath it. So the rails run from left to right underneath, which made it a little bit easier for me to mount it. So I didn't want to have a roof rack because that's extra weight, extra height. I just wanted to mount the tent straight onto the car. So like I said, I've mounted the tent straight onto the legs, straight onto the rails of the car. And to do this, I reused these King's roof rack legs, and I re-drilled holes in the middle of it for the bolts to go through the middle. And then there is just a bolt and nut straight onto the rail and onto the leg. So it's much lower, much lighter this way. And yeah, it's been pretty good. And then to strengthen underneath, I've put some aluminium RHS underneath just to brace it a little bit. Although it still has bent a little bit. Probably should have used thicker aluminium, but I think it's helped the tent not bow in the middle as much as what it would have if I didn't have the reinforcement under there. So I'd recommend doing something like that if you're gonna install this tent without a rack. Come on, hop up here. Hey boy, hey boy. Got Puppy with me today. So he's not bored at home. Good boy, good boy. Yeah, good boy. One of the massive things that drew me towards this tent when I bought it was the extrusions on the outside, which means you can mount anything and everything that you want on the outside of the tent. Like this eyelet is for my awning, so I can strap it back over here because it's a 270 awning. I've got sail track for shoe bags. Shoe bags will slide in there. Obviously the ladder mounts here. I've also got a light bar on the front here, which I use the Bush Company brackets for. And everything's just super easy to mount to the side of the tent. So I really like that about it. Again, it means no roof racks needed. You can see on this side, I've mounted my Dash 270 awning straight onto the tent as well. I've just used the original Dash brackets. I think I had to re-drill the brackets a little bit just to line up with the extrusions on the side of the tent. But like, no dramas really. You can just mount it straight on. Takes the weight fine. I know there's a lot of other rooftop tents that have the extrusions as well, but they have a pretty strict weight limit. Whereas I think these don't, like they're pretty strong. I'm gonna have a video reviewing this Dash 270 awning as well. So if you wanna see that, if it's out yet, the link will be in the description. If not, just go to my channel and it'll be up there. The other big bonus is the extrusions up top. So there's 2 rails that run from front all the way to back up top. There's one on the left side, one on the right side. So again, you can put a bolt in there and mount whatever you want with a nut. I know Bush Company make a bunch of little brackets and things so you can mount, like max tracks, a shovel, awnings, there's a bunch of other things too. Hey bud. But you can also make up whatever you want as well. Solar panel brackets, all that sort of thing. So it just makes it easy. I haven't got anything up here at the moment. Wouldn't mind doing a solar panel, but it's a bit of weight as well. So trying to avoid adding too much more weight to this because it's already pretty heavy. But maybe that's something I'll do in the future, we'll see. One thing about the top of the tent here is it has checker plate aluminium on top, siliconed around the edges and riveted into the frame of the tent, which is fine, works all good. Doesn't need to be one piece. I know there's rooftop tents like Ultra Fab where they've welded the whole top shell of the tent all in one piece, so there's no chance of any leaking whatsoever. That's amazing. They're super expensive, and this works fine. The rivets, however, they silicone them from factory, but apparently when they're packaged in the boxes, the cardboard rubs the silicone off, so the water can seep through the middle of the rivet a little bit. So when I first got the tent, I just chucked a dab of silicone on each of the rivets up here, and I haven't had any issues. Even before I put the silicone in there, it was fine for me, but my mate told me he had a few issues, so he had to put some silicone up top. So something to be mindful of up there. The top, because it's checker plate as well, inside the tent there's rails that run horizontally. So the thin checker plate aluminium sheet that runs over the top of the tent, you can kind of see like the flex over the rails in the frame of the tent, which is fine. It doesn't matter. It's not affecting the tent. You might get some water pooling up the top because it's got high and low spots, but it is what it is. It doesn't really matter. I'd say one of the biggest drawbacks about the tent is the unfortunate weight of what it is. I think they're about 96 kilos or something like that. And you're going to be adding, your awning to the side, little bits and pieces mounted to the side. I don't know if you want a solar panel up top or max tracks or a shovel, even the bedding, like blanket, pillows. We got a fan up there, like it all adds up. So it's probably over 100 kilos. The awning's about 20 kilos. So it's about 120 kilos up here, which it isn't ideal. So that's why I tried to mount it straight to the car instead of having a roof rack. Just lower center of gravity and less weight as well. Every little bit helps, but that's a massive drawback, and you can feel it, especially when you're doing tricky tracks and stuff. What I will say though is that I used to have a King's steel rooftop tent roof rack. So the roof rack was made by King's, it was steel, and I think that was about 40 or 50 kilos. And then the Dash soft shell rooftop tent that I used to have up here, that was 53 kilos or so. So between a steel roof rack and a soft shell rooftop tent, it's almost the same as this. So it kind of is what it is in a way. There definitely is lighter options out there. So if you're conscious of the weight, which you probably should be, there's a bunch of slimline options out there. Obviously they're gonna have thinner mattresses, maybe you can't fit your bedding up there. You might not have the extrusions on the outside, build quality probably isn't as good. It's just a trade-off, and you just got to decide what's important to you when you're purchasing. But being that it's kind of big and kind of heavy, one of the great things about it is you can fit heaps up there. So I think it comes with a 50mm mattress. When I bought mine, it came with 100mm because I bought it second hand. So I've got a 100mm mattress up there, 2 pillows, doona, blanket, a fan, and even the ladder that hooks onto the side here, I've stored that up there too. So that just frees up a lot of room from inside the car, which was a massive bonus to me, because keeping like a big bulky doona and a pillow in the car, just it really sucks. So up here we've got over centering latches. So it's got a little hole for a padlock here if you wanted to lock it, but I never do. It's pretty easy to open, just like that. The guy before me's put a bit of pinch weld down here because he reckoned when it was windy, it was making a clanging noise. So I don't know, I've just left it on. I don't know if it does or not. Close it, latch it on, and then it just pops on. We've got a awning pole bracket on the side there. So you'll see On this side, there's a hole here, which is where the awning pole comes out. Same on the other side, but when you've got a awning on the side that blocks that hole, you need to get an adjustable bracket, and to compensate for that, you're meant to cut the rod a bit shorter, which I haven't done yet, so it's a bit skew with, but yeah, that's how you get around that awning issue. What I'll do now is I'll open up the tent and we'll have a look inside. It's pretty easy to open. It does take a little bit longer to close though, just because I've got so much stuff up there. You know, it wants to hang out the sides a little bit, so you've got to tuck it in, which is another downside of, I suppose, this tent, but at the same time I put a lot of things in there, so kind of is what it is. It's easier with two people. I'll get my partner on that side, tucking in that side, and then I'll just reach around on this side, tucking it in, and I'll pull it down. So just open the two latches, and then push up. There's a strap here holding everything together, so that just goes down there. And then put the poles up. So one pole on this side, into that hole, and then the other pole on the other side. You'll see with this pole, it's bent at the bottom. That's because I've got this bracket here that's higher, and I'm meant to cut this. So I need to cut this about there to make it even. Just haven't gotten around to doing that yet. And then the ladder bag goes in there too, which is nice because it keeps it out of the car. I actually bought this from Drifter because I misplaced my ladder bag. So they make a bag for, I think, about 70 bucks. Really well made. And it's a bit oversized too, so easy to get the ladder in and out. You're meant to use it as like a little doormat at the bottom of the tent. That's what they've marketed it as, but I'd rather not get it dirty. So this ladder here, this is just like your generic rooftop tent ladder. Like you'll see this on all the really cheap rooftop tents as well, which is a bit of a shame. It's a bit average, like it works, but it's not the best. I think it's Alucab. They've came out with a different ladder for their rooftop tent that has angled treads. So as you can imagine, these treads are all flat. So by the time you're mounting the ladder at an angle, you're just stepping on the sharp corner, which kind of isn't the best thing. But Bush Company have just mounted their own bracket on there like that, which, as you can see, this hole mounts up to this this bolt here, and then you just put it through the track there. It's pretty easy. Just goes on like that, and then just pull it down. Yeah, like it's got a bit of flex in it. The new AX27 Bush Company rooftop tents, they have two bolts up here, which is good because I've noticed when you're on an unstable ground and you're stepping on like the side of the ladder, maybe like near the top, it comes out sideways like this. So that would stop that from happening. So you can see my awning up top is on a pretty big angle. And that's because I haven't cut this rod like I should have. But even then, like the tension isn't the best on the awning because it's so big and it's only got two rods holding it up. It's a bit flappy. When you're in a windy area, honestly, like it's a bit of a nightmare. Like it flaps around quite a bit. There is these straps here where you can tie down the storm straps from those little plastic hoops there down to here, and that pulls the two middle bits down. That helps. Doesn't solve the issue when it's really windy. Another thing, these rods at the top there, you'll see I've got a bunch of duct tape. That was because one night the awning kept slipping down down the rods. So you'll see there's the eyelet on the actual tent, and that's what the rod goes through, and that just kept slipping down in the middle of the night when it was really windy. So that really sucked, but I just chucked some duct tape on there to stop it from slipping. My mate has the Nor model, and it looks like they've fixed that. The awning pole has like a bit more of a extreme angle on it to stop it from slipping down like that. but very annoying, and the tension kind of sucks on the actual awning here. On the flip side, it does have a double layered canvas, which is massive for insulating the tent. You know, keeps it warmer on those cold nights especially. I'll show you guys inside now where the magic happens, so we'll go up there together and suss it out. Hey, Blue. So here we are. We'll start with the bedding. So I've got a 100mm cross-country mattress, which fits right to the edge there, as you can see. Oh, there's dog hair everywhere from Banjo being up here. And it doesn't reach the full length of the tent, which is kind of nice. So there's a bit of a space at the front where our heads are, where we can chuck, you know, maybe some of our clothes or whatever else we want to put there. Obviously got the sheet on the mattress, 2 pillows here, one there. A doona. In the winter I have like a blanket as well on top. The ceiling here it's got carpet on it, so you can mount whatever you want on there with Velcro. You can see you've got 6 big pockets there, and there's my fan. I've got the guard off it at the moment, the guard's sitting in there. But that's great for clothes and miscellaneous bits and pieces to chuck in there. So you've got 6 pockets here. There's 2 on that side, a little cup holder there, another one on this side. And then near the door here, we have got 2 more pockets. Heaps of storage. You can see we've got power outlets on either side too. That would make more sense if our heads were down that side. I know some people who do sleep down that way, but we like to have our heads here. So it just means we need to charge our phone on this side and chuck our phone in the pocket there. I suppose it makes sense having our heads down this side with the cup holders though. Yeah, these power blocks have a twin USB outlet here, 2.4 amps. Got a cigarette port and an Anderson plug, which is massively overkill, but you know, whatever, it's there. If you've got something you need to power with your Anderson plug. You see on this side with the fuse as well, resettable fuse. And the power for the fan runs up this track on the side here that's zipped up. So that's super easy. Bush Company sell a bracket here, which is for the fan, and then you can just slide the fan in and out like that. Really easy. There's a light up top, which goes white, amber, or red with 3 different brightnesses. So that's super nice. I haven't actually turned the power on in the tent, but I'll hop down and do that. Hey buddy. This one's a tent, so I'll turn that on. How's my boy? Hey? This one's for the awning. I've got the fridge there, that one's a spare one. But still pretty messy in there. So now that I've got the power on, you can see this fan turns on. It's got 3 speeds. Can't remember the name of this fan, but I'll put it down here for you. It doesn't use that much power, so it's really efficient. Obviously it's small and compact, and it fits in the bracket that Bush Company sell. You got 3 speeds and 4 different settings for timers, so you can have it automatically turn off in the middle of the night. The guard for it's here, so it's meant to sit on there like that, but I think it just fell off, so I've just chucked it in there for now. The light up here has 3 different brightnesses, so we'll go white, brighter, brighter, and then if you hold it, change to amber, hold it, change to red, and then you've got 3 different brightnesses on each color. So that's pretty nice. We've got YKK zips, which are, as far as I know, the best quality on the market. So they've been good, although when I did buy the tent, the zip for the fly screen here on the outside, the little tag's just fallen off. So that's pretty annoying to get to. I've got to get a new zipper tag and retouch it there. It fell off on this side of the fly screen zip and also on the other side as well. So it kind of sucks. Super nice to be up and off the ground too. You know, you're not getting the weather from down there. You're not getting any wildlife coming in. It's almost like your own little retreat, you know, you get a nice view, especially when you park up in a beautiful space. Obviously not like this isn't a beautiful space, but yeah, when you're in a nice spot, it's pretty awesome to be up here. So this is the inside layer of the canvas here, which is nice that it zips downwards, because if you want to open the windows a bit, but not fully, you can kind of just do something like that. You're still protected from the rain, so no rain's going to come in. And yeah, super easy to adjust and whatnot. So I like that the zips go this way for that. But we'll zip this down. And then we've got the fly screen here. And then on the outside of the fly screen, we have the outside layer there. That pretty much just always stays up. If it was super cold here in the snow, maybe it'd be a good idea to keep that down. But if it's down and you want to open the window, you know, you've got to put this one down. You've got to open the fly screen, unzip that outside layer, roll it up, tie it up. It's just annoying. So if it stays open, you can just zip this inside layer up and down. Pretty spacious too. There's a lot of room in this tent. I'm pretty sure my partner can actually stand on that side of the tent and fully stand all the way up. So it makes it nice to get changed. We've got a flap up the top here, which is meant to always stay open just to stop condensation and things like that. Just realized I didn't have my mic plugged in just then, so if the audio was a little bit shitty in that last clip or two, I apologize. So closing it, chuck my ladder in for the front, chuck the rods in for the front, and then you'll be able to see the kind of difficulties I have in closing it. It's a bit of a pain. The awning folds across like this on both sides. This strap retainer comes up. It's a bit of a stretch to get it up over that bit, to be honest. So if you're a shorty, you might struggle a bit. There's a strap here with loops on it. It's just super strong. So I just put all my weight into it. And then at the front here, just put the strap on like that to hold it down whilst I tuck in all the sides. Normally I think you can pretty much just do like a karate chop each side, but because I've got so much stuff in there, it's a bit more involved. Then I come down from the second loop to the first one, so a bit lower, and kind of tuck it again. There's a couple of spots where it likes to stick out, super annoying. And then I get it most of the way down, do the final tuck, which is a bit tricky. With the awning on the left side, it's a bit harder to tuck this side, so I've got to walk around and tuck it in. You've definitely got to tuck it too, because if you're not, you know, a bit anally tucking it like I am right now, you're going to have canvas sticking out the side of the tent and it's not going to seal properly and you get water and dust in there. So with the addition of the ladder here, it's made this part a fair bit harder, but it still just fits. So I've pretty much got to put all my weight on it to get the latch started like that. Same on this side. Now it's latched, and I just need to pull these down. Job done. So as you can see, obviously it's a lot easier to put up than it is to put down. But with two people it helps. Usually I'll have Chelsea on the left side here tucking that, and then I just reach around, tuck this side, pull it down. So I'd say probably 2-3 minutes to pack up, and probably about 20-30 seconds to put up. One thing I just realized that I didn't mention before is where I put my shoes when I get up there. I know it's an issue for a lot of people, and in the beginning I was just putting them on top of the wheel here, but if you haven't got a lifted car, it's probably a bit of an issue. So my solution was some sail track from Bunnings. That's aluminium, sprayed it black, drilled some holes in it, mounted it onto the side with the extrusions. And then there's a couple companies that make these shoe bags with the sail track on top. I've mounted mine here. Straps are a bit tight. So I've got some Dash shoe bags here. Here's one of them, see the sail track on top. So this just literally slides in the side of the sail track there like that. And then shoes go in there, keeps them dry if it's raining. Yeah, it's an awesome spot to put it. That was really nice cheap mod. I think the bags were 60, 70 bucks. Sail track, like 5 or 10 bucks. So there it is. There's the Bush Company Alpha rooftop tent, also known as AX27 now. It's a mixed bag of good and bad, but I think with any sleeping solution you get, there's pros and cons to all of it, you know. A swag, that's a great option, super light, you can chuck it on your roof, it's cheap, it's like pretty easy to set up, but then again, like that has its cons as well. Same with the soft shell rooftop tents, they have their pros and cons. I dealt with that for a while, setting up and packing up that thing. I went on a trip, I think it was like a 10-day trip, and we moved every single night, and like unpacking that and packing that up every single day, I got over it. So that's why I decided to go with the hard shell. I'm glad I did. Prefer the hard shell over the soft shell for sure. But yeah, there's heaps of options on the market now. If you're on the fence about biting the bullet and spending some big coin on a Bush Company, then hopefully what I've shown you today helps you make that decision. Overall, I'm happy with it. I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't change my decision. I'm glad I've got it. But yeah, I think the biggest negatives is probably the weight and bulkiness. There's a trade-off for being able to fit all the things that I fit in there, of course. And the awning flapping about, a bit annoying. The rods always bend. Obviously the other con is the price. Brand new, they're at almost 6 grand. I'm trying to think of some other cons. Small leak through the rivets, easily fixed, I suppose. The ladder's a bit rubbish, especially when you're spending that much money. Like when you're spending almost 6 grand on a rooftop tent, you'd expect to have maybe a nicer ladder than what a $1,000 or $2,000 tent has. Like they come from the same supplier, I'm pretty sure anyway. Like they're the exact same ladder. It's a bit crap. I know some people have used that Alucap one with the slanted treads and adapted it to the Bush Company tent. That's a great idea, but the ladder's like $300-400 bucks or something. So you're paying a lot of money just to get some slanted steps. I don't know, it is what it is. On the other hand though, there's a lot to love about it too. Super solid construction, no roof rack, mounted straight onto these legs, aluminium extrusions, good quality zips, good quality canvas, the lighting and power inside, the fact I can fit everything up there, the ease of mounting everything on the outside of it. But like I said, pros and cons, you just gotta figure out if it's worth it for you. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, you wanna know anything about the tent, let me know, hit me up. I'll do my best to help you. Hopefully I have helped you guys make a bit of a decision today if you're thinking about buying one. And if you liked the vid, feel free to like and give me a subscribe, and I'll be coming out with more vids. I'm going to review the Dash 270 awning as well. That's probably going to be the next one. So yeah, stay tuned and I'll see you guys in the next one. So, hop up. Good boy, hop up. Good boy.